I'm here in like a little mobile rig featuring the tiniest modular synthesizer in the world. It's just Platts and Pamela's new workout. If you don't know, Platts is a multi-oscillator thing. It's just got loads of different types of oscillator sounds in it, so it's quite versatile. And Pam's workout is this like multi modulation output. It could be 8 LFOs or different triggers. You'll see what it is. This video is about Loopy Pro because I think it's one of the most interesting, versatile iPad apps you can get for making music. And if you're making like a mobile rig, say if you want to play live or you're going on holiday and you want to make some music on the beach or whatever, Loopy Pro would be such a good choice. It's so customizable. You can just create whatever you want with it. And what I want to kind of do with this video is just show how just with a tiny little synth in Loopy Pro you can make kind of quite full tracks. So this is basically a default layout, except for I've got to set up my inputs on my sound card a bit. So this is Platts, what you're hearing now. What I could do is, so I've got these channels here, so you can see the colors are representative of these mixer channels here. What I could do is I can choose to monitor through a particular color, right? So let's monitor just through red. So we're only going to hear it through red. And why you'd want to do that is because you can apply effects. So let's say, I don't have a filter in this little rig here, so let's just add a low pass filter. Come on, you bastard. So there you go, we've got a low pass filter on there, and let's add an effect. How about this crazy granular effect? So it's got this good preset called Magic Fifths, makes everything sound interesting. Apply dry wet. And let's also add a reverb, just because reverb makes everything easy. There you go. You'll like your ambient with your modulars, right? Let's just start building up a thing. So I'm just going to play, let's just do a drone. Let's find a nice little drone. Maybe lower. So we're playing, and you can have a metronome if you want, or you can have a screen flash, which is quite novel. Big flash. 1. But for the sake of a drone, don't really need it. I'm just going to click on the first circle here. Remember, this is just a default layout. We'll get into more customizable stuff. This is just the basics. So let's hit it. So it's going to wait until the next one, and now we're going. But I'm also recording my voice at the same time. I don't want to do that. 1, and now we're going. But I'm also recording my voice at the same time. So the reason why you want to apply effects to the color groups is because when you're looping stuff, you want those effects to ring out. You don't want the reverb to just collapse at the start of the loop. Now it's quite clever because it does some automatic crossfading and things like that there, so it's quite easy to get these kind of... Let's just play around some other sounds. Let's customize this. Let's make it a bit longer. Let's go for 16 bars. Or let's go for 16 bars. I'll do. There you go. And this is still working within the same colour group here. Obviously, I'm not really giving a shit about the tempo in this. It's just some ambient nonsense. Cool, alright, let's just build up more stuff. But let's set up some different effects and stuff. So let's change this and let's monitor it on a different colour group. Let's say the next one along. So now I can apply different effects. So, I don't know, let's go for a nice delay. There's a great one here, other desert cities. That's pretty good. Let's just pull up a... Let's find a different sound. Let's try a little sequence to see how that goes. So I'm going to go... whatever. And that's quite long, so let's shorten the length of it. Let's just cut it in half. Now, let's use Pam's Euclidean functions here. Let's go 10/6. And let's speed it up a bit. So I'm manually starting and stopping these things to create different kind of lengths. But what you can do is you can pull up and you can define a bar length here, like 8th note, 1 beat. But these are all like kind of safe divisions. Let's take this. You can go through and edit these elements here, so I can pull this back, make it kind of like an uneven thing. So let's say, and it can be very fine-tuned as well. So this is now 3 bars, 2 beats. So far, so looper, right? I mean, there's nothing particularly novel about this, except for I think what distinguishes this from like a hardware looper is the fact you can have 32 bar loops, which will just go on for fucking forever. But let's stop this for a second and let's have a gander at the expandability of this. So there's a little pen icon here, kapush! And now we're in edit mode, where we can basically customize the layout of this thing as much as we want. Let's say we want more loop points, easily done. And we can create hundreds of these things. I don't know how many exactly, but you could create a lot of them. And there's also some additional stuff we can create. So we can add a little one-shot window here. Let's have a couple of one-shots. Then you can move these around and edit them around, you know. You can add like, you know, TouchOS C style knobs and faders and that sort of thing. An XY pad, or even this thing, which is like a sample slicer. So you can just make a bunch of stuff. Anyway, let's get rid of that for now, because that's all detail, and to be honest, I've not really messed around with that stuff too much. What's quite cool is like if you had a bigger system, if you've got like a sound card of loads of inputs, you can kind of multi-track all your stuff into different channels, and then so it's like a mixer with these recording functionalities on top of it. And then on the side of it, you've got this like door section where you can kind of start like placing stuff into a timeline, right? So these are all the clips that, you know, I've recorded. So you can start arranging your recordings into this arranger, which is really powerful. Back in edit mode, what's really cool is you can group channels. Yeah, cool. So I've just grouped those two, and I'll group these two, and I'll leave the rest ungrouped. What that means is you can record stuff which is very in a similar way to Ableton clip view. So let's just record this bullshit sequence. What I've done there is I've got a little sequence that I've recorded, and then I've shifted it, the sequence up by an octave, and I'm going to record it in the clip beneath. But see what happens, it's different to before. When it starts doing this, now they're grouped like that. What you could do is you can change it from they both play together or one at a time. So it's going to be that one or that one. So that's like that kind of Ableton thing. So the grouping on the edit thing here. So they're grouped. Those two are grouped here, but then these aren't grouped. So you can have two clips within a chain that's grouped, but then another one's still freestyling underneath. Also, you can move patterns around like that. I've not really worked with loopers before, and I think a straightforward looper doesn't really excite me very much. But a looper like this that I can say, okay, channels 1 to 3, I want them to behave like Ableton clips, and then the other channels are going to be freestyle. And then you can connect up a MIDI controller like the Akai MPD something. It works out the box. Like they've designed this to work with that controller, so you can have all of these mapped to buttons to turn shit on and off. So it's kind of a bit like having Ableton and Push, like, in one little system. And then there's the kind of arrange side here, which is nowhere near as flexible as Ableton's arrange thing, or just like a full-fledged DAW, but it is a way just to like kind of get stuff down. I don't necessarily consider this as a final destination. I mean, it can be, depending on the complexity of the piece of music you're trying to do. But I don't really treat iPad stuff as final destination things anyway. It's quite often to like kind of capture jams and then pull the sounds off of that into Ableton and just do some arrangements. I think there's even an Ableton export. Yeah, okay, no, it's not an Ableton export, but you can export the audio clips individually, so you could just be like wham jamming away and then have all that. And what's also really cool is like AUM does, it's a great platform to just kind of explore the iOS ecosystem of like crazy apps.